All right, we are live.
Good morning, everyone. It's the one and only V, the Guerrilla Economist, coming to you live with my main man, CJ, aka El Cuco, working the airwaves as the master of the flux capacitor. With that being said, check us out on roguemoney.net. Follow us on Twitter at the Rogue Money and Facebook, Steam It, DTube, and all of that good stuff. And also, folks, check out our sponsors, remaincalm.net, remaincalm.net, whether you need to get your credit score fixed in this new year, give yourself a financial resolution to get yourself squared up with, then go see remaincalm.net. They can get you fixed at a remarkable price. So check them out. And it's a great deal over there over at remaincalm.net. Or if you don't need your credit fixed, you need some business funding or you need some personal funding, whether it's to start your own business or whether you want to, I don't know, get a dream home or do an extension to your house or remodel something, or perhaps you just want to buy some cryptos, maybe get some stocks, or you probably want to get that 911 Turbo you've been eyeing for a while, kind of like me. Whatever you want to do, go get remaincalm.net, and these guys could definitely help you out. And folks, also check out the Silverback. The Silverback is out and in full effect. Check him out, mygoldusb.com, mygoldusb.com, and you can get yourself the Silverback that allows you to surf the internet without any sort of NSA snooping. It's an absolute privacy. It's 1024-bit ECC encryption. It comes with its own Office suite. It has its own messaging. It's encrypted messaging, encrypted web browser, and it's all sorts of encrypted software. It's amazing. It's remarkable, and it's unhackable. It's the closest thing you're going to get to whatever top secret alien technology they have over at Area 51 in terms of bulletproof hacking.
Nice.
And also, guys, what I'm excited about the most is the crypto school. I mean, cryptos are hot. Let's be honest here. Cryptos are here to stay. No one's going to be taking out cryptos, no matter what edicts are put out by bureaucrats worldwide. Does not matter. Cryptos are here to stay. And you want to know what the hottest cryptos are right now? You want to know how to get in and out of cryptos, use whatever wallet you want. Check them out. TheCryptoschool.io, TheCryptoschool.io. Make sure you put that THE in there. And with that being said, CJ, what's going on? Hey, dude, is 420 up and running? Rogue 420?
Rogue420.net is up and running. It's live. We have separate handles for it, of course, for Twitter, Facebook. The Steam account will be opening up soon, and then obviously the YouTube channel. So we're getting interviews lined up, and then also we have some exciting things we're going to be announcing with Rogue 420 in conjunction with our work with Rogue. So stay tuned for that. We're aggressively working to make that happen, to finish that project up. So very excited for V.
Yeah, absolutely. With that being said, another thing. I think also is that got some great products that'll be lined up for Rogue 420 as well. So again, this is not a lot of these sites that are like Rogue 420. It's going to depend on people like you. We're going to come out with a great quality product. CJ's been working with an amazing team. There's going to be some amazing products over at Rogue 420 that will be available for purchase. So please stay tuned for that. And it's going to be great. And we're going to make it in a way where no matter what state you in, you'll be able to get it. You're not going to be getting, of course, straight up cannabis, but there will be derivatives. See what we got, like endocannabinoid oils and edibles and all that other stuff.
So basically, so there's going to be some product offerings. There's going to be some mints that are basically terpene based that work in conjunction with CBD THC. We also have the hemp based CBD that will be a few different edibles that completely legal in all 50 states. Some great items that we're making. There's a nice chocolate. It's almost like a Butterfinger, but it's better than that. But we can't obviously call it Butterfinger. Then also there's a great, just almost not necessarily
can of fingers, bro.
Can of fingers. There you go, can of fingers. And then our product director is actually working on making some doggy treats as well that are hemp based. So some really cool stuff. Obviously, to finish a product, the packaging, making sure that the tokenization is set up for it as well. So yes, it will be crypto based, legal in all states. Yeah, and so stay tuned. And I'm sure that once have that time, we'll invite the rest of the team on get involved with an interview, and we can have them have our product executive to detail out exactly how our product is manufactured.
That's awesome.
And the quality of it. So stay tuned right here.
Absolutely, folks. Rogue420.net. Check it out. The cannabinoid revolution is here, along with cryptos. The decentralized multipolar world is upon us. You either on it or you're going to get left behind. That's just the way it is. Siege, what do you want to get into, bro? We got some information here. We got some some headlines to go through real quick. Then we can talk. Then I guess then later on we got the series report coming out. Where Paul's going to be breaking down a lot of things for us. What do you want to get into, bro?
Wherever you want to take us. Wherever you want to take us. If there's anything that's been on your mind over the weekend, a lot happened.
Let's talk about the missile launch. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So
a lot of hype and hoopla with this missile launch, man. What's the latest on this?
Well, obviously, I'm sure our listeners are very aware of the quote unquote false alarm that was triggered this weekend when there was basically an alert sent out to all Hawaii. It was notified via television. It was notified via their phone service of a missile warning, basically to take cover. And this lasted, I believe, for close to 30 minutes, where people were in absolute panic, chaos, as this message was sent out to seek immediate shelter. That quote unquote, this is not a drill. And they're basically, what they're stating is that, oops, let me mute that. Can you hear that? Let me shut that down.
Yeah.
So basically what they're stating is that somebody, a controller, accidentally pushed the wrong button to trigger this alert message, which I think, if there's anything, there's a lot of theories out there. There's a lot of conspiracy theories, but I think we can all agree that type of messaging system doesn't involve somebody pushing just one button to send that out.
No, exactly correct, dude. I mean, one of the things that was dropped by Q over the weekend of QAnon, whether you follow him, whether you believe it, whether you think it's a psyop, or where the hell, I don't think it's a psyop. I just, I'm still on the fence on a lot of things. A psyop, no, especially with that whole thing where he predicted the Bangladeshi in New York City and the switch around with the fireworks and whatnot. That wasn't a psyop. That was pretty amazing. So anyway, this guy Q, whoever the heck he is, or whatever the intentions are as of yet, has stated that it wasn't a accidental button push. Folks, there are no accidental button pushes. That's like the flash crash siege, a couple of years ago at the stock market. They said it was a fat finger trade. Somebody accidentally pushed a button.
Yeah.
You don't accidentally push anything. You accidentally leave the toilet seat up. You accidentally, I don't know. You accidentally leave the refrigerator door open. You accidentally, forget to replace the toilet paper. You accidentally, I don't know, forget to put your gas in your car. You accidentally do. There's an accident. You accidentally do a lot of things. But on an alert system that's linked up to a radar, that's linked up to all sorts of guidance systems, that's linked up to a multi-billion-dollar defense network, you don't accidentally, I pushed a button. They don't have a button on a desk somewhere that's bright red that says push in case of inbound missile. A button like that simply does not exist. That button, you better believe, your bottom dollar is linked up to some sort of radar. That is not something that's just accidentally pressed and all of a sudden there's an incoming missile and the alert goes out. So this whole thing, folks, I think it's things that I have. Something probably did happen. And this happened, Siege, a week after the supposed Zuma satellite was lost by SpaceX. I don't know what the implications of that is. I don't know what that even means. But all we know is that payload that SpaceX was carrying last week was top secret. Now, SpaceX is the private space faring corporation that's owned by Elon Musk over at Tesla. The payload that it was carrying was deemed top secret from the DoD, some sort of Zuma satellite. We don't know what the heck it is or what it does. But all of a sudden, that payload went missing, and they can't account for it. And then there was a supposed missile launch that occurred a few days after. draw whatever conclusions you may, because that's all we can do at this point, because nobody I know of has the inside track of what the heck's really going on here. And those that do know what's going on, they're not sharing any information as of yet. So something is happening, man. I don't know what it is. What's your take, CJ?
Yeah, you can. I think you can frame it from quite a few different perspectives, and it's probably a whole separate, not a whole separate show, but just real quick on that whole SpaceX, Elon Musk, that DOJ contractor with that. What's very interesting is that from my understanding of it, that SpaceX pretty much just controlled the lift, getting the satellite, whatever particular it was, that the contractor actually was responsible for the actual capsule and then the mounting that it was attached. In other words, they said, SpaceX, you know what? And I think this is why they moved to a private company to handle the what used to be NASA's, because just that element that they can have a contractor now, and that doesn't prove the government can do these types of things. So needless to say, they're stating at this point, and it was a spokesperson that came on from SpaceX, and they're adamantly saying that you can look at our scheduled releases of what's occurring. And she makes a very valid point, is that if there was something that occurred or something didn't work right, why would they be having the next scheduled 2 or 3 launches of satellites and other contracts they have set up to send things up? Do you think that if they lost a $2-3 million, whatever the price tag was on that payload, do you think if they lost it, they'd be scheduling other flights and keeping the next round of launches already in the queue?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not,
Yeah, so we know pretty much whatever they send up. So that takes us back to Hawaii, and I kind of looked at it from a perspective that are they conditioning, or are they conditioning society for the accepting of some type of event? Maybe not in Hawaii, maybe here in the U.S., of some type of an event that is going to happen, and they're conditioning us for that. The other angle could be was that perhaps there was a botched false flag event where maybe the good guys wouldn't do or pull the trigger, would not release this at the timed action of this happening, and therefore that was halted, that was stopped, and that's why that emergency broadcast system still came out, regardless, was because there was a botched thing that occurred. It's just very interesting, but I agree with you, V, that nothing happens at this point by coincidence. Q sent out a lot of information, and I know there's both sides. There's a lot of people that are like, just knee deep into the Q things. They're like, oh yeah, this is really what's going on. There's the other side. They're saying, hey, you know what? This is just a psyop. They're preparing us for this. But regardless of everything, you can throw all those things aside, that there's a lot happening right now. A lot of things, the Iranian oil container ships that are being blown up. There's no way those things are just magically, crashing into something and blowing up. So right now, it's a very high state of alert for all of us, that we need to be aware of the times that we're in and the true battle that's going on between two factions, between the deep state, the cabal, whatever you want to call them. But there's no way this incident in Hawaii was an accident, V.
Absolutely right, man. And it definitely wasn't no accident. Look, we are in a high stakes right now as we speak, folks, while we're going around our normal, quote unquote, normal lives. We're, going out, getting a gallon of milk, buying some bread, and, dropping the kids off to school and going to work and earning a paycheck and, grabbing a cup of coffee or whatever the heck it is. Beneath that veneer of, quote unquote, civilian life, there is a war that's raging right now. I can't detail all these things for you, but I could sense it. I do get a little, bits of data here and there. It is a full-on war. There has been many, many casualties in this war. It is a spy versus spy war that's going on right now between two factions, okay? And this is basically for the freedom of the world. I really feel there's going to be more false flags coming. Was there a possible missile launch? I think so. I think they intercepted something. I think they probably deactivated and or destroyed something. And it would not be the first time that the deep state has launched some sort of a missile attack Rogue Money a couple of years ago, and it's somewhere in the archives with the system updates. I don't know if you can find it, but on roguemoney.net, many years ago, I wrote an article called The Mischief Engine. And I talked about K-129, which was detailed to me by my buddy W, okay, where the deep state, working in Russia, hijacked a sub, okay, a Gulf submarine, and then using that sub, what they did, this was back in, I think, the late 60s, okay? They hijacked the sub. They made it appear to be a Chinese sub. They attempted to fire off a nuclear ICBM missile over at Hawaii, okay, again, and it failed, okay? And we didn't know about it until the good guys that were in Russia said, hey, this is what happened. We had a Red October, pretty much, a Red October scenario. And then the Chinese were alerted as well. And the U.S. had to go get the sub. But at that time, there was no surface vessel available that existed. And what happened is the U.S. spent over, I don't even know, $3-4 billion back in the 60s, which is a significantly ridiculous amount of money to build a Glomar Explorer, which is at that time the most advanced surface ship ever created, to go and get the submarine. And what they did is when they went there, they saw, many of men and bodies of humans strewn all about. Okay, these were sailors that were in that sub when it imploded. And they were able to, I think they just left it there. They were able to salvage some pieces out of it and whatnot. But that was the whole situation. The deep state has done this before. Okay, it's K-129, Glomar Explorer. That is a huge, deep secret that's held by the deep state. I wrote about it years ago. They've done this before, so their fingerprints are all over. And again, the same target, Hawaii. The same target, Hawaii. So something's going on. Were they trying to do a missile launch and, again, blame it on North Korea to get us entangled in a war in North Korea, which is something we don't want to do? A surgical strike, yeah, there's no surgical strikes here. That's not even an option on the table at this point, because you can't get into a war or conflict in the Korean Peninsula without a much broader war, without an embroilment of what would happen with South Korea, with China, with everyone else. So, guys, I'm telling you right now, underneath the surface, underneath all of it, there is a deep war. There is a covert war. So, just giving you guys the heads up on that.
Great points for me.
Next thing, Prince. I guess we can talk about Prince Alawid. Has been moved to the highest security Saudi prison after refusing to pay $6 billion. Bro, what's that all about?
Well, again, Prince Mohammed bin Salman, several months ago arrested a lot of family members, charged them with corruption, then held them basically, saying that they had to pay these pretty hefty fines. And apparently he's refusing to pay V. He does not want to pay $6 billion for his freedom. Now, according to this article regarding, what is happening in the Saudi kingdom, we know that there's still the continued, war in Yemen. But it does mention, interesting enough in this point regarding some of the attempted reforms in the kingdom. And a couple of things that I wasn't aware of, V, was the fact that, number one, was that, they did allow females to begin driving. So whether that's an attempted reform or just a smokescreen for something else that's coming around the corner. And then apparently in the court system, they are finally go ahead and having revoking kind of the free will to just marry, the young girls of youngest age is 14. So there's actually a court system now that has to review any marriages of young girls between 16 to 18. So it does appear at face value that there are some attempts to reform, but you still have to wonder regarding all the arrest, what has truly happened, the true escalation, with Yemen. V. So this is very interesting. Watch this unfold.
Yeah, goodbye, Ritz Carlton. I mean, this is Alaweed character doing this is he is totally screwed. I mean, think about it, man. November 4th, 2000, 300 princes. 300 princes, ministers, and other elites were rounded up in an anti-corruption purge. Prince Alaweed bin Talal, the Saudi king's nephew, who's worth more than 17 billion according to Forbes, owns stakes in Twitter, Lyft, and Citigroup. And according to a Daily Mail source, the Crown Prince had lulled Alaweed into a false sense of security, inviting him to a meeting at his Al Yamama palace. That sent officers to arrest him the night before the meeting. Suddenly at 2:45 a.m., all his guards were disarmed. The royal guards of MBS storm in, said the source. He dragged him from his own bedroom in his pajamas, handcuffed him, put him in the back of an SUV, and interrogated like a criminal. They hung them upside down just to send a message. Unbelievable, bro. So it is on and popping, my man. On and popping. Purge princes and the like were taken to the Riyadh Ritz-Carlton Hotel, where they have reportedly been allowed to buy their freedom by giving up their billions in oil wealth for their lives. So this is so this guy, you know, Talal's he's not speaking. Okay, he's not giving up his wealth. Well, he's going to be giving it up real soon. You know why? Talal's a point man. Talal's a point man. He is the continuation of the whole Bandar Bush, bin Laden connections that you've seen here between the deep state, between the Hillary Clinton foundations, between many of the bad guys. Alaweed is in the center of the whole entire thing. This guy will squeal. This guy will sing like a canary. And that is exactly what's going to happen. This guy's going to be tortured. He's going to be filleted. He's going to be whipped, electrocuted, hung upside down, Chinese water torture, whatever the heck have you. It's going to go down. It's going to go down. And that's what's going to happen, bro, because, you know, this is going to be a huge deal. And what's going to happen next is going to be even more so interesting. A lot of things at play. How this is going to reshape the Middle East is going to be quite interesting to watch, to say none the least, Siege. To say none the least.
Definitely. Absolutely. And there's a glimmer of hopes. We did see the first Uranium One scandal indictments unsealed,
that's huge.
Which is very exciting, right? So very exciting. So Mark Lambert charged an 11-count indictment, and this comes straight from the Department of Justice. Former president of Maryland-based transportation company indicted on 11 counts related to foreign bribery, fraud, and money laundering scheme. So Mark Lambert, 54, 11-count indictment, conspiracy to violate foreign corrupt practices and to commit wire fraud, 7 counts of violating the FCPA, 2 counts of wire fraud, and then also international money laundering. These charges stem from an alleged scheme to bribe Vadim Mikirim, a Russian official at JSC Transportation, a subsidiary of Russia's State Atomic Energy Corporation, and the sole supplier and exporter of Russian Federation uranium and uranium enrichment services to nuclear power companies worldwide in order to secure the contracts with 10X. So glimmer of hope here, V. Let's hope that there's many more, that this is the first hammer to drop, and let's hope there's many more.
Absolutely, dude. This guy is going to he's also going to be another person that's going to be singing, okay, with no torture involved. He's going to be singing as well, you know. So that's going to be big. More indictments coming, more unsealing will occur. It's happening, folks. It's happening. We are in the middle of a shitstorm. Let's not get this twisted. Let's not, get confused here. This is a shitstorm of a very grand magnitude. And so get ready on that one. Anyway, with that being said, Siege, this brings us to the end of the broadcast. I guess we have
London Paul lined up. Yeah, so 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have London Paul on. He's got some great topics to share, to discuss with us. And then also make sure to check out roguemoney.net. We published a few articles there from Harley Slinger from Little Roosh Pack. Great information. And then do me a favor, make sure you share that information. Any of our live streams, our articles. Make sure you share that. I think right now it's just so important to help many of those who are still waking up to the fact that things are changing quickly. We saw what the election did, right? We saw what the election did and how many people were triggered. Well, what do you think is going to happen, V, once this information starts coming out to the public regarding all of these massive crimes? So interesting times indeed. Stay alert.
Absolutely. Indeed it is. With that being said, folks, we'll be back in about 15-20 minutes. So stay tuned over here. Subscribe, hit the like button, share with your friends and family. This is the place for all things geopolitical, geostrategic, geoeconomic. With that being said, folks, we are over and out. Take it away, El Cuco.